Hello, I'm Päivi Eerola, a Finnish artist, and this time I share some inspiration for using blank paper scraps. I hope you really enjoy this video.
I paint expressive, abstract landscapes in acrylics and oils. I love the feeling of brush hitting the surface and the sense of freedom that the big canvas gives me. But when I'm painting, it's like a part of me is just hanging around and waiting. It's like a child is in the studio as well, observing my pace, trying to find a slot where she can stop me and ask, "Hey Päivi, I have some scraps. Would you draw or paint something for me?" My inner child is stuck in the past, to the time when I was 7 and holding glossy pics in my little hands. In Finland we call them kiiltokuva. Minulla on kiiltokuvia. Haluan vaihdella kiiltokuvia. Onko sulla kiiltokuvia? The best translation would perhaps be a die-cut relief, because they were not only die-cut printed motifs, but had some embossing too. My favorites were flowers and horses. They were organized in a pocket photo album and swapped between friends and classmates. A small picture of a beautiful white stallion or a colorful bouquet made me feel like I had them for real. They belonged to my world, and our modest home and mundane life became much more luxurious with them. The power of images is amazing, isn't it? For me, it made such a big impact that about 6 years ago I left my day job and became a full-time artist. So how could I say no to my inner child now, even if it would make people take me a little less seriously as an artist? A small blank scrap of paper holds a magical potential. You can draw or paint anything on it. Even the tiniest scraps can be used. If you can't fit a horse on it, you can paint a single jewel, and it will find its way to decorate a bouquet or a hand or become a part of a necklace. When I paint something for the inner child, she is not asking for the whole scene, but just a tiny little trinket or a little pet, because for her, play is about mixing and matching the new things with the old ones. A magical world gets built piece by piece. So you see, it's difficult for me to throw away paper scraps. When people ask what paper should I use for these, I recommend Bristol paper, which is smooth and firm but not too thick. But I have all kinds of leftovers that get used. I often do ink drawings or rough pencil sketches and use watercolors and colored pencils for finishing them. I don't care if the paper is not just right for watercolors or pencils. I put the finished images under a heavy book and they always turn out okay. Namely, okay doesn't have to be the same okay as for the big paintings. Okay for these scrap pictures is defined by the inner child, not the inner critic. If the child gets it, it's enough. I don't aim for museum quality, but for the satisfaction that happens in the imagination of a child. So here, when I paint flowers like they would be a sheet of die cuts laid on black cardstock, I don't aim for perfect flower shapes. The impression that comes from the combination of bright and muted colors and from the tiny grouped shapes is enough. I don't think I could paint so freely if I didn't take the time to play. I have boxes of these small hand-cut images that I call boxes of joy. When I open the lid, the joy touches my fingers. It's like I'm a child again, picking and choosing, mixing and matching. I browse small paintings in my art journals and try out what could go where and express a full story of fantasy. This play is far from the intuitive painting process, where I also use Paul Klee's and Vasily Kandinsky's abstract teachings. But there's also a bridge that connects the two extremes. When I begin to feel that the small flowers are a little too small, I know I need to go on that bridge and start painting bigger watercolor florals. Sometimes going to the bridge means making an ink drawing that consists of playful motifs. It's like the adult is holding the child's hand, pursuing the child to draw a little longer and organize the scraps in her mind, not in a physical form. Sometimes the adult and the child paint together, shape by shape. After spending all this time on the bridge, my inner child is ready to say, "Hey baby, I want to see you paint like you can when I'm not holding you back." And often I feel unsure and tempted to say that I can't paint without the child. But when I do, I feel free. I feel free because I don't have to take care of her. I don't have to think about what she likes to consume and collect. I can abandon the tactile world she needs and express ideas, atmosphere, wind, light, spirit in a way a child can never comprehend. But then, after a while, the child in me wakes up again. Hey, Päivi, I have some scraps. Would you draw or paint something for me?